Take a PC or a Mac, whatever, and take a smartphone. Now you know that these two things, or three things, whatever, are made up of essentially two things. There's a hardware and there's a software. Yet, when we buy these objects and when we interact with these objects, we see them as only one thing. We don't make the distinction of hardware and software. It's just one thing for us. And as a matter of fact, when we have some software problems with our PC or with our smartphone, we say, oh, my PC or smartphone is not working. No, it's just their software that has problems. Now, the same thing happened with us. We too are made up of these two essential elements. There is a hardware, which is our body, which is our brain and the way everything functions. And there is a software, which is our mind. I have another name for that, and it's inner control system. Other people call it ego. Now, I don't want to call it ego here because I don't want to make any confusion with some religious or spiritual or psychological thing. This is nature. We're talking about nature here. That's the way we're made. And this inner control system has developed over millions and millions of years for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to ensure our survival. Not only our survival as an individual, but even more so as species. So we make this confusion all the time ourselves. We do not distinguish our mind, our ICS, with ourselves. And we are two separate things. And because we're not able to make this distinction, that's where all the problems come. That's where all the troubles come. And we have to learn to distinguish these two things. Now, we will talk more about the ICS because it's fundamental. That's the thing we have to deal with most of our days. As a matter of fact, all of our days. You know what the relationship of control that mind has over our body in percentage? That's about 100%. We don't choose. We think we're free. We don't choose a damn thing. Everything is decided by our ICS unless we are aware of the existence of this ICS. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we are not the ICS. We are not our mind. And when we are aware of this, then we know that most of the thoughts, as a matter of fact, all of the thoughts that we have and the feelings that we have do not depend on us. They depend on our mind. They depend on our ICS. When we know that, and we feel we have to do something, or we feel the urge of doing something, then we can stop it. If we understand that it's not according to nature's plans, in other words, it's not systemic, and therefore, if it's not systemic, then it will bring consequences. If I know that I'm not the ICS, then I can stop it, and I can behave in a different way, in a more constructive way, in a more performing way, where we can make more money, where we can have a better relationship with people, and all of this. Because on one side, our mind wants all these things, but the way it acts, because of its obsession for control, as I said in the last video, it will sabotage itself in that direction. The only way we can have what we really want is to become aware of the existence of the ICS, of its influence over us, which is 100%, and only then can we have control.